Daniel's he's definitely an outspoken guy who just loves people. He has a thing of bringing people together. So.
What's good, guys? Welcome back to the Milk Carton Series. I'm your host, Stephanie. If you are new, and as always, guys, we thank you for tuning in for another episode. Now, today's episode will be focusing on a missing person. Now, 24-year-old Daniel Robinson went missing on June 23rd of this year. Now, I have not heard of his story, which is so crazy because of the details in his case. Now, you probably heard about it, but maybe because I haven't really been researching different cases, but nonetheless, as always, we got to get these stories out there. It has been stated that Daniel is truly a fresh breath of air. He is very fun, courageous. He loves the outdoors. And what's even more, honorable about him is that Daniel does not have his lower right hand. And for him to be like such this great ball of energy and wanting to do so many great things in his life, he never let that stop him. And I thought reading that was truly just amazing to read about someone. Now, in 2019, Daniel did graduate from college in South Carolina, and he ended up getting a job in Phoenix, Arizona, where he would potentially move to be a field geologist at a company called the Matrix New World Engineering. How amazing is that? You graduate college and then you get into this dope field, because when I read about Daniel, he truly loved outside. So for him to get a job doing what he loves, I thought that was just truly dope. About in his field, he was basically in charge of the remote desert sites, and his family has stated that he was truly happy with his job. He loved his job. So on June 23rd, around 9:15, that was the last time his co-workers stated they had seen Daniel. He was last located around the Sun Valley Parkway near Cactus Road by the Hashimamaya River, which was west of the White Tank Mountains. This had been, reported. In this time frame, there's not really a designated time. He was seen leaving, but he didn't tell anyone where he was going, and he was in his 2017 Jeep Renegade, which was a bluish gray color. And that was the last time anyone had ever seen Daniel. And his family was notified, and this is when the case begins for searching for Daniel. So investigators with the Buckeye Police Department, talked to family and friends about Daniel, and they learned that Daniel was having a couple of rough moments before his disappearance. But his father stated in those moments before he actually disappeared, he was back to his normal self. And they don't believe that Daniel would intentionally harm himself or do anything to jeopardize everything that he, built for him. On July 9th, there were many searches that began to look for Daniel in the area of where he was working. Law enforcement, looked for him, and there had been any sighting of Daniel. And it makes you wonder, you just never know what's out there in these, these deserts. And I'm not familiar with Phoenix. So when I think of Phoenix, I think of it's hot. I think of, dry air, dry humidity, and just nothing but desertness. You know what I'm saying? And then by learning what he was doing for his job, I really am just so curious to know, in those moments, what happened, right? In this time frame, as time is going on, law enforcement began to try to ping his cell phone. They couldn't really ping anything due to it probably being so far away. There was nothing that they could correlate to find Daniel. They even looked for his OnStar thing, but I guess it had appeared that it was turned off. And his text messages, there was nothing really out of the ordinary, to say, okay, this is why maybe he potentially went missing. There just was no information until July 20th. So on July 20th, a cattle rancher had found his vehicle. And what's crazy is his vehicle was about southwest of where he initially went missing, and it had dropped about 20 feet into this ravine. Now, it had been stated that through, I guess, like the technology, he did have his seatbelt on. The window was smashed out, but his personal belongings were left behind. So law enforcement didn't necessarily believe that there is any foul play into his disappearance. And they did search the area to maybe locate Daniel, but they couldn't find anything of where Daniel may possibly be. And as I read, Daniel's family states that the law enforcement didn't necessarily like trace his Jeep, and that some of his clothes were found like 3 feet away from the actual Jeep, and like a vest or whatever in his boots. And they're of course doing their own investigation.
Foot with others.
It's overwhelming. My first initial thought when I came look at from the main road, just looking out at the desert using my binoculars, everything seems flat. It's look like flat desert area, but when you get out there, it's far from that. It's a lot of embankments and tumbleweed type bushes and things like that, and it's very hot and dry.
The family believes that there was foul play into the disappearance of Daniel, because they just don't think that Daniel would just leave and harm himself. What's crazy about this case is that law enforcement don't believe there's anything foul play, but his family does, because they talk about the Jeep and how, of course, like I said previously, they haven't really analyzed this Jeep, because there's certain things, I guess, in the Jeep that is kind of like it raises an eyebrow to the family. And I don't blame the family for executing all resources, because you don't know what happened to him. And for his vehicle to, go 20 feet into a ravine, and then the driver's side window is smashed out and the front window appears to be cracked, of course, you're curious to know what happened to your child, especially if there's some personal items that were outside the vehicle as well inside the vehicle. Now, there is a $10,000 reward leading to, of course, any discovery of Daniel. Their family has created their own website called pleasefinddaniel.com, and you can go and check out all of that. Their family is also raising different searches, hopefully, of course, to get people to help fund, so that way they can do their own personal investigation, because you just don't know. There's not enough to go off on, and it's truly sad. So 24-year-old Daniel Robinson is missing. At the time of his disappearance, he was 5 feet 8 inches, weighing around 160 pounds. He has black hair, brown eyes, and like I said previously, he is missing his lower right hand. This case is currently listed as a missing persons case, but like I said, his family, of course, is doing their own investigation because they think likewise. So I hope and pray new information turns up for this family, and I pray that they get all the answers that they seek. I truly, honestly don't know. You always want the best when it pertains to your child. I mean, his dad came all the way from South Carolina to Phoenix to look for his son. Like, I'm just wholeheartedly praying that they find some information, on this, because like I always say in my videos, we all deserve to know what happens to our loved ones, no matter the what ifs or the end result. You deserve to know what has happened to your child. So as always, guys, I'm sending this family love and light and praying that new information turns up for them. And I hope that, I do believe they are having a search this Friday, the 20th. So I'm praying that goes well, sending all of you out there love and light, and all the links down below you can go check out if you want to donate any money to their fund in helping bringing home Daniel. As always, guys, sending you all love and light. Stay safe, and yeah, many prayers to this family. Until the next episode, guys, I'll see you. Bye, guys.